This is the Relevant Podcast.
It's episode 1163, and it's the Relevant Podcast here in Orlando. I'm your host, Cameron Strang, and joining me, he's back from Loverland, Virginia. It's Jesse Carey.
Hello, hello.
From Nashville, artist, producer, mogul, Derek Miner.
What up, though?
And in LA, you know from Social Club Misfits, it's Marty.
You know what it is.
You do a better intro for your slice. Like, hey guys, how's it going? Hey guys, what's it going? Why don't you just say that at the beginning of the show, by the way?
I like them.
Keeping them off guard.
Yeah, I like being on my toes every time. You know?
Every time.
I like
no idea what he's to say. Anyway, right before we hit record, I just came back in the house. I just saved a life, literally moments ago. I saved a life.
Oh, whoa.
I was on the phone.
Oh, okay.
I'm looking out back. I have floats in my pool, you know, and things like little rubber duck things floating around. Mm-hmm. I'm looking at it as I'm on the phone, and I see something swimming in the pool, and I'm like, "Is that a duck? No, what is that?" Then I go closer. It's a baby possum had fallen in the pool and it was swimming all around. And I'm like, "Oh, there's no way out. He's going to die. I got to get him out." I'm on the phone, and I'm like, "I don't have one of those pool net things because I have pool guys." And I was like, So I'm looking around my backyard trying to figure out
while he's struggling.
Yeah, well, this baby possum is trying to keep his head above water. Who knows how long he's been in there? Anyway, I go. No, I didn't jump in. It was like big rat sized. I'm like, I'm not going to mess around with that thing. Anyway, I go find a pole with the thing. I was able to come up underneath it, scoop him, and he latched on to the thing, you know. And I'm trying to get him off, and he wouldn't get off. And I'm like, so finally I laid it down, and he was latched onto the, and I'm like, get off. And so I pulled it off, and he's laying there dead in the side of the yard. And I'm like, you were just swimming. I know you're playing possum right now. Yeah, go run literally. Up. But literally, I'm confirming to y'all that possums literally do play possum when they're terrified for their life, because I have a baby possum, a wet. This happened 2 minutes ago. I have a wet baby possum on the side of my pool right now.
Hopefully he didn't jump right back into the water.
No, I put him off a little bit in the grass, but
that would be terrible.
So hold on. You may have saved a life. You may have come moments too late.
He's laying on his side, sopping wet, acting like he's dead. But 30 seconds earlier, he was swimming full strength.
Again,
so, come on.
You could have come at the last possible second of it. I mean, we don't know.
The last breath of life left his body.
Let us know next week if you actually saved a life, or if your indecision at what to do actually costs a life. We'll be
just take a photo, make sure he's okay. Maybe you'll see his feet run away. Wet feet run away, or it ran back in the water.
Some bird of prey's already flown off with them.
That's what I'm thinking. This is what y'all don't realize who don't live in Florida. There's a little lunch laying in my grass right now. There's snakes and birds and hawks.
Oh God!
Looking at the buffet. I mean,
God.
Dude, get up and go under a shelter,
dog.
man. I was trying to help him. I was trying to help him, but he's laying there like I'm playing dead.
Homie, it's a Squid Game. You have to get up. You got to get up, dog. It's not a game.
I'm trying to help you, man. There's a hawk right there. Get out of here.
Yeah, we may never know. I wanted to ask you guys something too. This is unrelated, but equally disturbing to me.
Well, you missed last episode, so you've had a full week to think.
There's a lot going on in your life.
There's a lot going on in your head that you've got to get out. So
there is, and as you guys know, Cameron and I, I think all of us are fans of the NBA and NBA playoffs.
Not Marty. He doesn't care.
Well, I've been. There's a lot going on, but
win.
I will say I have some solace when everything's busy. You come home and watch a little playoff game, and I love the playoffs because you can watch games late, relatively late on East Coast time.
Jesse, I'm sorry, I have to ask before you get to your story.
Yeah,
NBA playoff, watching them. I'm watching them every night.
Yeah, me too.
Are you going to bring up the two commercials that are driving America insane right now? No flex zone and what a pro wants.
Hey, listen. When I hear no flex zone, like last night, I was on the couch.
I hate that commercial.
Dude, I will never buy AT&T out of spite for that. Oh my gosh,
dude! I was on the couch last night, and every time I hear no flex zone, no flex, they tell. So I have a visceral reaction. Like it's actually started to like cause like a surge in cortisol. And I can feel anxiety and like rage. I literally feel it every time it comes on.
I mute the TV. I literally am just like, if we're going to commercial break, I hit mute because it's going to be those same two commercials.
Yeah. One, okay. The What a Pro Wants, What a Pro. For people who haven't seen it, it's two young NBA stars, SGA and Chet Holmgren, walking down the street and they break into song as if this is actually what two guys would do. And the song is a random Christina Aguilera song from like 25 years ago. What a Girl Wants. It wasn't like some giant like who's even thought
the song is older than both of them. Yes, correct.
And who's even thought about that song in the last 10 years?
Well, that's how they could get the license for it for the commercial.
But and they start singing what a pro wants, what a pro needs instead of what a girl wants, what a girl needs. And it is so cringy, and it has nothing to do with the AT&T service. But they play it so much in this Buffalo Wild Wing commercial, which starts with no flex. So I'm telling you, it is now. It's even extended to the Carmelo Anthony commercial where they have the bit where they parody the big suits. The first time I saw it, I was like, okay, that's clever. Yeah. There has to be a better strategy for TV commercials than just playing them over the same like four. Oh, and the Google one where the guy like raises the girl on the little pixel screen. He's like tossing the baby in the air.
It's not a little girl. That's an Asian boy. He's a famous TikTok dancer.
I can't even
cut that out of the podcast.
Listen, I can't even pay attention. I don't care. I don't.
I was like, what little commercial was you talking about? The little Asian girl. I was trying to figure out.
You know what I'm talking about? The little Asian kid who does the TikToks?
Dude, the chubby guy.
You know what I'm talking about?
They're tossing the baby in they're tossing the baby in the
That
pixel.
was Jet Li's nephew.
I
just disrespected a whole nation.
I don't care.
It's like a 25-year-old Asian kid. Yeah.
I'm actively disengaging from it. There has to be a better strategy for TV commercials. Like it's almost gotten to the point where I don't want to watch the NBA because I'm subjected to the same 5 commercials.
This is what you're not realizing is what's happening in the playoffs right now is what's been happening on the regional sports streaming channels all season long. So like I have Bally Sports. That's how I watch Magic games. And so Bally Sports Florida, and they don't sell out their commercial blocks. So they have a deal with AT&T. They have a deal with whatever, 3 brands all year playing the same commercials every commercial break. So like I was so excited to actually watch national channels during the playoffs because it's like I get a break from Bally and it's the same thing because they're doing Buffalo Wild Wings no flex zone on Bally. Like it's following me, man. It's horrible.
Wow.
Is it because people just aren't advertising on television anymore? Is that the reason? It's like there's not a lot of television advertisements, so they just keep running them. The same ones over and over again? Is that what's happening?
I think it's like they bought a certain amount of buy.
A block. They bought a block.
But they only made one commercial for it. Yeah, they bought like, okay, for the playoffs, we're going to do a $5 million deal with TNT. And here's our commercial.
How about
and
this?
TNT didn't sell out, and so they just keep running it. I don't know.
How about you take $1 million of that $5 million and cook up like 3 more commercials?
Yeah.
I would rather be subjected to because a commercial break's probably like 4 minutes. I don't know in the NBA. It's probably or in the 4. I would rather be subjected to a 4-minute Camp Lejeune lawyer call. That is so. Just give me the Camp Lejeune pitch again. I'll take that. Remember when that was like all you heard? If you were stationed at. If you
I'll take all those.
I'll take Kanye doing onto his phone in the cab commercial. Like I don't need high production value. I just need variety.
I wasn't stationed at Camp Lejeune ever, much less between the window of 1980.
What are you talking about? I think this is a Virginia Beach military. I think it's a regional buy, buddy.
It's a regional thing. I never heard that one.
Never heard it.
I'm telling you, I don't even think it. I don't. Maybe it's in military towns, but
it is in military towns because you just said stationed at Camp Lejeune. That's Virginia. That's
I don't
Norfolk.
even know what Camp Lejeune is.
There was. I don't even know.
I heard Auschwitz.
I don't either.
I thought you were talking about nuts.
No, it's a military base
or something.
it's a military base in North Carolina where evidently they had asbestos back in the 80s.
Yeah, so you've got a regional commercial. That's what you're doing.
And it's like a class action lawsuit. And so it is nothing but trying to find people that could have possibly been there at that time in this very small window of time.
No, don't.
Send it. My favorite commercial has to be that J.G. Wentworth. That one is haunting after a while.
That's the one. That's the one.
I know. It's
that
in your head
went
all the time.
Platinum for the aunties. That went platinum for the grannies. J.G. Wentworth.
Call J.G. Wentworth. Yeah.
What was the carpet one in the 90s? When you watch syndicated TV, like in the afternoons, it was like
the Empire carpet, right? Is it Empire carpet?
Empire today. Yeah. I'd be watching the Dick Van Dyke Show home sick from school, and it was all Empire. Redo your floors.
See, Jesse's having a hard time trying to find it because it's regional.
No. This is look. This is the New York Daily News. Hold on. Look at this headline.
Oh yeah.
And Politico
maybe it's an
did
East Coast thing because there's a North Carolina base. Maybe it was East Coast regional.
Maybe it's just Northeast.
There's so many victims.
Complete inundation with these Camp Lejeune ad.
Y'all remember the carpet ad where they saw the racism? It went like viral. One? It was like, I'm trying to remember. I
remember the Pepsi one.
It was like the Houston one. That Houston, there was like a Houston furniture store. It's like, I'm black and they give me credit. I'm white. They give me credit. They brought the races together.
And the guy's like, anybody who needs it, you are approved. The guy in the middle is like, you're approved. It doesn't matter.
That's my favorite commercial.
It came out in 2020, and it was like, this furniture store is going to solve racism in America, solve the racial divide.
Everyone's doing their part. They're doing their part. I'll say, the other one I like every time is when that Flex Seal guy comes on. I'm like, there's no way he's stopping that leak with one piece of tape. It ain't happening. And all of a sudden, he slaps that thing on there, and then he's riding around a canoe made of tape. He's riding around
a screen door canoe where he sprayed it all.
Absolutely off his rocker.
I'll be honest. I have no need for that product, but if I had a hole in my gutter and it's just like, well, whatever. The first thing I think is I need some of that Flex Seal, man.
Jesse, I have it, and trust me, it works. Like I've used it on my actual canoe. I've used it literally because we just found a canoe on the side of the road, so I had to patch it up.
That's where the possum came from. The canoe, the old canoe on the side of the road.
You don't even need a canoe on the side of the road. All you need is a couple rolls of that tape.
You tape a mattress up, you're good to go. Yeah.
Hey, you spray a mattress and Flex Seal.
Mattress.
Hey, babe, I'm going to go to the hardware store. I feel like building a new boat, and the only supply I come back with is Flex Seal, and then I'm just out in the yard all day.
How much Flex Seal did he need? Like 4 buckets to do the canoe? Like.
He never said that canoe actually costs $8,000 of Flex Seal. You could have bought a brand new canoe. Yeah. All right. Well, we have a great show in store for you today. Coming up later, we talked to Dustin Nickerson, is a hilarious comedian. He's been on the road with Nate Bargatze on that huge tour, not the whole tour, but he's been doing dates with him and stuff. Also, at the end of the show, it's a graduation season, so Emily has made a game for us, graduation themed game. So that's coming up at the end. Stay tuned. Right now, I'm next. It's Slices. You're listening to Dayglow. The song is Every Little Thing I Say I Do. All right, it's time for Slices. What do you have, Jesse?
All right, so the Wall Street Journal did a really interesting piece this week about those captcha puzzles that we see when you log in to various websites that have an extra level of security.
Red lights, bicycles.
Yeah, exactly. It's like,
Bridges.
find which one of these has a rickshaw, and you're like, that's a corner of the spoke right there. I guess that counts. We've all encountered them.
Click on all the cars, and it's like, well, here's a pickup truck. Is that a car? Is that an automobile? What do we have here?
Or like,
do you get the little end of it, like the little sliver of it? Do I still have to hit that? I don't know.
The bumper, is that? I got half a muffler. Is that? We've all been
and then it's like a new you hit submit, and a new puzzle comes out. Like, crap.
Yeah,
I didn't need to do the muffler.
Programmers, particularly the people who program bots that are meant to be able to solve those picture puzzles, with the rise of AI, are getting better and better at image recognition.
Of course, they are.
That's sort of like the key thing that AI can do is image recognition and reproducing images. And so, if you are one of the people who may have noticed that captchas are now getting harder, they did the kind of a big study, and it's true, because the programmers who do them realize that images identification is no longer an effective security measure. Now, captchas are starting more and more to use logic and actual puzzles that are more difficult for bots to solve.
AI can solve puzzles. Like, I would think it would be easier for AI to solve puzzles.
Well, here's what a programmer at one of the primary agencies that comes up with the captcha riddles have said. They said, the goal is, this is a quote, the goal isn't to design something that machines can't do. It's to craft puzzles that are really expensive for developers to try and train software to do. And so if you ask it a somewhat confusing question, if you like a picture of a raccoon wearing a jacket, and you ask the person to identify the bow tie on the jacket of the raccoon, something that has a couple layers that you kind of have to think through for a minute, or find the red object that is sitting in front of an object that is gray that is in another square. Something where you have to think through a couple steps of what it's asking you to do. That's how you trip up these bots. Again, it's not that, to your point, Cameron, that AI couldn't solve it. But in order to create bots at the level that some of these hackers would have to do, it gets really expensive to train them with that level of specification. So they're having to make puzzles for you to log in, and they're going to be increasingly confusing as AI and these bots get more. This would be
like taking your SATs just to log into your bank.
Yeah, that's the implication. Until they come up with some other credentials or method of logging in.
Why not do the twisty letters things? I can't even tell what they say half the time. I have to hit refresh. You would think that.
But again, anything image based, the bots are getting really good at. So now they're moving away from visual recognition and imagery into logic. So you're not only now do you basically have to fill out paperwork of what cookies you will accept before just browsing the internet. Now you're going to have to literally solve, to your point, Cameron, like it's not going to be, hey, you got to solve this Sudoku or this Wordle before, you can check your email. It's getting to that point because no one's figured out a way to get around these bots. So just be prepared, puzzle fans.
I ran into a captcha yesterday. Literally, it was like it was our server. It was like a big security thing. And it was like, the captcha said, I am not human, or I am human. Check the box. And I checked the box. And that was the captcha. Literally, it just said, confirm you're human. I was like, I think we can do better than that, so things are going to be better.
So now they're going to have to put the computer chip in you for real.
Great. Take them off. Honestly, scanning your iris or biometrics is probably inevitable.
Listen, if it comes down to it, if I don't have to do these captchas and agree to cookies, and give me the mark. Give me it. I'll take forehead. I don't want to do these puzzles anymore. I'll do the forehead. I get to skip the puzzle. I can just log right in. It's not worth it.
The puzzles.
Jesse said turn me to an Android. I do not care.
I know the consequences are potentially eternal, but it feels like an eternity me trying to solve this captcha. So
yes.
The Relevant Podcast does not necessarily endorse the views of Jesse Carey.
That's how the Antichrist will get us, just annoying us to death.
Annoys us into submission.
He's not going to be that sinister or charming or even that compelling. It's just going to be so annoying.
I think the Antichrist is behind No Flex Zone. He probably produced that song.
Yeah.
What a pro wants.
I was going to say, the thing I don't get about the No Flex Zone what does that have to do with the guy playing Jenga? Like, the music is so front and center in the commercial, but he's just playing Jenga, like, but it pans to the kids and then No Flex Zone starts playing. Like, it doesn't make any sense. Like, at least if you're going to use it, make it make sense for me. Like, if it was in the gym or something, like, I would get it.
Family competition game nights, competitive, no flex. Like, I think it's like supposed to make it about competition and stuff. I don't know.
But here's
I'm
the
with
thing.
you though. I literally had No Flex Zone in my head the other day, angry that it was stuck in my head. Could not remember what the commercial was. Like, I couldn't remember what company I was mad at. You know what I mean? That's how ineffective it is.
Yes.
But here's the thing. If you watch it closely, when they finally zoom in on the wings, they don't even look that good. It was like they did everything, and then they forgot to make the wings look good. They look a little greasy. They don't have sauce on them. They went, okay, here's the problem. They went with the dry rub. And they looked a little greasy. And like, I don't want a little salt and pepper wing. Give me something with sauce.
Yeah.
I got a lot of problems with this. Commercial.
Why is it when Jesse gets upset, his biceps start to really flex hard? You notice?
I mean, he literally has his left bicep has a vein popping.
Yeah, he's like, it's
because of that. I'm telling you, I feel my blood pressure rising. I feel
you sound like a samurai. You know, I've been watching Shogun, that new thing. He does that.
It's literally causing a physical reaction. Why'd you go dry rub?
You both are very upset from this.
You couldn't even give us like just an old fashioned barbecue. You had to
go. You and Cam are just really upset, troubled by this.
Dude, it's because we're watching a lot of playoffs, and it's like it is
How
like
many
literally.
commercials do you think you're seeing though? Like, how many times have you guys seen that commercial per game? Is it like 3-4 times? Is it every commercial
again,
break?
No Flex Zone was on Bally broadcasts all season long as well. I have probably seen that commercial or heard that commercial 1,000 times. Like, I'm not exaggerating. It is horrible. Like, it's getting to the point of psychological torture. It's just like this is not
warfare.
Effective advertising. This is very ineffective. I want to punish your company for subjecting me to this. Anyway.
There's a lady across the street from me with a boycott sign. I don't know if you guys heard about this. I'm thinking about taking her and heading over to Wingstop, and we're going to make a stand.
Slumlord in front of the Wingstop.
She's by the way, I texted. We keep this offline. I texted you guys. I'm not the only one in town confused by this situation. But anyway.
I like it.
It's becoming a Virginia Beach hot topic. The lady with the slumlord sign. Yeah. All right. What do you have, Marty?
All right. What's going on, guys? All right. I was going to start like that. All right. So AI finally did something worth mentioning. There's a coffee shop in Finland. I didn't know this, but I guess Finland consumes the most amount of coffee. I really thought it would have been Los Angeles. Or maybe like Thailand. I don't know, because Thai coffee, I don't really know.
But it's cold in Finland, so that makes sense.
Maybe. I mean, I got to go and try it out. But they consume the most coffee. They have a coffee shop over there that designed an AI to create the best blend of coffee. Right? Normally, they would take 2 blends, 3 blends. This thing analyzed all the beans, took 4 of them, and made a cup of coffee. They call it AI. I hate even that I have to say this. AI-conic. They call it that. It's the name of it. And so they made this perfect blend of coffee.
Nasty work.
They said it's literally perfect. They haven't even had to update it. They said it's the most delicious cup of coffee, which makes me if you ever like hung out with somebody who really knows coffee and they're like, you taste the berry, I don't taste anything.
It's annoying.
Yeah. I taste nothing. I've been on the road with Prop a couple times. We've done shows together. He'll be like, it's like an earthy taste. I don't know what that is. No. I throw vanilla in my coffee. I'm going to be honest with you. I do an Americano with vanilla. That's America's coffee, right? Just black, no cream in it, French nothing vanilla. To bloat you. Just get to the hard stuffs. Anyway, they have figured out the perfect blend. It's called AI-conic. It blends 4 different beans to it, and it's got a sweet ripeness. And, while we're in America trying to figure out what are the evil ways to use AI, This is like all they've done with AI. Finland, this is all they've done with AI. They're literally at the bottom of the article. They've talked about how we've finally been able to use AI. We're like ahead of the curve, not knowing all the things that America has done in different nations. But, you know, this sweet country, they figured out how to make the perfect blend with AI.
And America's making AI girlfriends.
That's what I'm saying. Like the difference in AI is just It's just different. One's making girlfriends. Yes, AI priests. And then one's making like a sweet cup of coffee that they want to bless the town but here, 2.6 million people.
But here's the thing. Like if it's an AI girlfriend or AI priest and I'm typing and it's typing back to me, it's like, well, obviously this is some sort of programming feat here. Right. Yeah. I don't believe I think someone just threw 4 beans together and be like, oh, yeah, AI made this. We're like, well, how did they do it? It's iconic, man. Just I don't believe it for a second, and I don't care. Look, Finland, congratulations. You have the perfect AI coffee. Over here in America, we're making canoes out of tape. All right? We're doing fine. We're doing fine.
We're remixing old Christina Aguilera songs to save money on car insurance.
All right, what do you have, Derek?
All right, so
we're doing fine.
Obviously I travel a lot, and every time I go through the airport and I see an animal like a dog, I always remind myself, like, wait a second, that person, you know, probably has like PTSD from like the military or something like that, but the emotional support animals. So that was, I'm gonna be honest, when I first started traveling, that was the thing that was probably the most weird thing. Like, how is these people bringing these dogs in here and they're able to just pretty much do that? This right here, though, my man Joey Henney, gotta be off the Henny.
Henny?
His name is Joey Henney. I think it's how you spell it, Joie. But Henney is in his name for a reason, because he has an emotional support alligator. A gator.
Oh, yeah. Wait.
It's like there's literally a picture of him holding the alligator like a Shih Tzu or like a little baby dog. Like he's holding the and so that's number one. But that's not even the craziest part of the story. The craziest part of the story is this man's in Pennsylvania with this alligator and decides to go to Brunswick, Georgia. And he puts the alligator outside in some sort of fence enclosure, and the alligator is gone. Nowhere to be found. So either it escaped or somebody stole the alligator. And there's also a complaint that someone took an alligator and put it on their porch. They called the pest control or the control to come get the gator. And then Georgia's people put it in the wild. So apparently somebody stole my man's emotional support alligator and set it loose in the wild. It's the wildest story I've ever seen in my life. And he's a huge influencer, so he's trying to get his gator back.
He's connected to it.
He's connected to it, Cameron, at this point.
Okay.
Like it's his emotional support animal.
Right, a girl gator.
But think about it. He put it in a fenced enclosure. I sent y'all a video a few days ago of an alligator in Orlando. Somebody had a fenced backyard. It was those iron rod fences. Yeah. It was about 5 feet tall. And the gator, there was a lake behind their house. And, you know, people put the fences up so they can have their dogs in their backyard and keep the gators out. Gator had gotten into their backyard, and somebody videoed the gator getting out of their backyard. And the gator literally crawled up and went over the iron rod fence and jumped down and got out. If he just put it in a pen, that gator climbed right out of that thing and said, set me free from this weirdo. He keeps hugging me. I need to go out in the wild. That gator ran, man.
Literally jumped over the gate, like figured, you know, it's crazy. That's not its first time. It got over the gate. It's figuring it out now. They're evolving.
Yeah. They're evolving. Yeah.
And then Finland's still trying to find the perfect cup of coffee, and we're over here. Just kidding.
We have gators tripping off gators learning how to climb.
We have bigger problems.
Yeah, we don't have time. Finland. We don't have time to mess with AI coffee. We got gators. We got emotional support alligators climbing fences on the loose. Okay.
All right. That'll do it for Slices. Make sure to check out relevantmagazine.com every day where we are not covering those stories. So none of those appeared on our website this week. So there you go. All right. Stay tuned. Up next, Dustin Nickerson joins us. You're listening to Royal Otis. The song is Clawfoot. Well, today's show is brought to you in part by Crown College, a boldly Christian and academically excellent college providing a lifelong, authentic community. Crown offers on-campus, online, and graduate programs, 18 NCAA Division III sports, international service opportunities, and a vibrant student life. Discover why Crown College is ranked top 3 in America for online Christian education. Visit crown.edu today. Well, our guest today is Dustin Nickerson. He's a comedian who's been featured at this week's Netflix Is a Joke Festival. We talked to him about why LA is the worst city for a comedy show, where he gets inspiration for his jokes and how social media is impacting comedy. Here is part of Emily's conversation with Dustin Nickerson.
We're very happy. My wife, we're very happy, but we're very jaded. I know we're jaded because the last wedding we went to, we were giggling during the vows. Because we couldn't take it seriously. Because those words up there, they don't mean anything. I know some of you are young and you have hope, and that's adorable. But it just doesn't mean anything because that's not like a marriage. That's a wedding. Those are different entities. Like a marriage is the next day when they get to the airport and she goes, I forgot my passport. Now you're married. That's the marriage right there. Today, till death do us part. Tomorrow, I'm going to Mexico alone. You had one job.
So you're a part of this year's Netflix Is a Joke Festival in LA. But before we started this conversation, you were telling me about how LA is the worst city to do a show in. So I'd love to know, what is the best city to have a comedy show in?
There's lots of very good cities. And I don't mean to crap. No, yes, I do mean to crap on LA. I'm not going to take that back in any way whatsoever. Yeah. My experience is that you need a diversity of thought in any city, in any crowd. My experience is that you want a blue dot in a red state or a red dot in a blue state. You need, or like where I live here in San Diego, which is like Southern California, but it's military. So it's kind of a mix of just the idea. I don't remember what ancient philosopher it was. I think it was Socrates that said, like, I'm just a paraphrase, definition of intelligence is to being able to entertain an idea that you don't agree with. And I think that that's very true in comedy, that you can hear thoughts, words, ideas that are not something that you per se agree with or even necessarily think they should be talking about in a jovial, lighthearted way, but you can still be entertained by it. And that makes for a good comedy city. So what that translates to is, like, to me, like in California, I love San Diego. I love Orange County. I love, like Inland, Fresno, Modesto, stuff like that. I love Dallas. I love Des Moines. I love Madison, Wisconsin. I love Nashville. Like, these are great, great comedy cities. It's not really about political leaning. When you go to places that are all 100% unified in what they agree with when they walk in the room, if you agree with them, great. Like, fantastic. This will be an easy show for you. But that doesn't necessarily always make for the best comedy crowd. So my favorite comedy city in America is Chicago. I think Chicago is the greatest. Chicago might be the greatest city in America, period. It's on a short list. I adore Chicago. And so Chicago is my very, very favorite city to do comedy in. Like, when it's on the books, you're like, ugh, I just cannot wait to get there. So, there's a lot, but that's a short list of some of my favorites. Oh, Austin is fantastic too.
I always love seeing your clips come across my timeline on social media. And it kind of got me thinking about how social media has had a really big role in changing, like, the public's access to comedians, because we're just exposed to so many more people. How do you feel about that change? And, like, what are some of the pros and cons to it as a comedian?
Well, burn the networks to the ground, baby. Like, I hate it all. So anything that does the business of connecting artist entertainer to consumer That's what I want. And that used to be television. But unfortunately, television was like the only route, unless you were like these amazing like stories of like Brian Regan got too famous on a CD we all burned. Brian Regan live. I mean, he went viral on a CD, which is like not even a real thing. But when you go back and you think about like Angela Johnson was the first viral comedian, and she really changed comedy in that regards, because she was on Mad TV, but she didn't come up through like late night sets and a Comedy Central special, and which an HBO special, which is like where all comics in the 70s and 80s and 90s were going. On this little old ancient thing called YouTube, she blew up and had the nail salon bit that went viral and viral and viral and viral and over and over. And then it just kind of kept happening. Like, Bert Kreischer did it with The Machine, and Gaff Against Hot Pockets did it. It was like, and that was building comics. So I think it's good. Now, what's unfortunate about it is I think you once felt kind of subjugated to these network tastemakers, gatekeeper types. Now you have this like nameless, faceless algorithm, which you're like, is it going to pick me today? Is it like, because as someone who creates and puts out a lot of content, I just never know what's gonna go or not. So there is still something, I don't know what it is. There still is something choosing to show me to the people or not. But at least I don't like know their name and have their email address and have to see that guy at festivals. So I like it. I think that I don't, you're not really asking for this, but I'm going to opine on it anyways. Because comedy has kind of gone the way of music, where there is so much of it now that we're almost into more of a genres era, like where you can have the type of comedy that you want. And that's a good thing. Like, there are so many different types of stand-up comedy. The cerebral stuff, the dry stuff, the dirty stuff, the offensive stuff. Some people want to hear you be the comedian who holds up a mirror to society and reflects what's going on. And other people want the complete opposite. They want escapism. They're like, my life is so hard, I don't want any of this. And it's all stand-up. It all counts as real stand-up comedy. It just has to be what you want to do as a comic. So I think that that's a good thing, because that helps Emily get the stand-up comedy that she wants. And gives you an opportunity to find like what exactly you like from that. Like, in the same way, like, not to upset anyone, like Taylor Swift's music does nothing for me, but I respect and know that it does for a lot of people. And and it's not that that's not music. I was like, that's just not, she's not writing that for me anyway. Like, there is a real element of, now if you put on a Damien Rice song about like a sad aging man who's, I'm like, that's, yeah, hit me, come on, just, that's gonna hit me. Especially, and I've hit an age now where Bob Dylan starts to resonate with me. I was like, oh gosh, I'm old. Dylan's starting to do something in here. Oh, the times are changing on the wind and blah blah lay. Oh, it's such art. But anyways, the point being that people used to say things like, I don't like stand-up comedy, and I don't think that's like you don't hear people saying that much anymore, because it's too much of a blanket statement. Because you might not like Anthony Jeselnik. That might not be for, exactly what you might like Jenny Slate. You might not like Cedric the Entertainer or whoever it may be, but you might like Nate Bargatze. Like, there's just so many different genres, like of really, it's just people with different point of view. So in that sense, it's good, because it's just giving more people an opportunity to hear from more comics.
something I've always wondered is, how long does it take for you to come up with a joke to posting about it online or implementing it into your set?
Yeah, it depends. There's no like set number. I mean, let's just look in the folder. Let's do an example. Okay, so I wrote in the middle of the night the other day. I woke up, at like 5 a.m. I wrote this joke about being California sober. So California sober is like a thing that people out here say where like they don't do anything. They're totally sober except weed. That's all they do is weed. California sober. So I wrote, a thing about, people are California sober. California sober, if you don't know, it means all you do is weed. Weed's the only thing that you do. Just weed, anxiety meds, a sleeping aid, shrooms, and Ozempic. That's all you do. Those are the only, you're California. So I wrote that in the middle of the night. And then I was like, okay, I think that's really funny. I'm going to see if I'm going to run this. I'm going to do this on my podcast with Mel. My wife and I have a podcast called Don't Make Me Come Back There. And so I ran it by there and she laughed and so did the producer. And then I put it on stage 2 days later, which was the next time I was on stage at the Comedy Store, and it worked in front of a crowd. So it was funny to me, and it was funny to a small group around me, and it was funny on stage. So now I have to just find, like, where does that live in the bigger act? And so I think Sunday I'll put it after another joke that I have about weed and my son taking a weed gummy. I think I'll put it right after that. And if it lives there, then it'll be in. But that's like a joke that's like done because it's just like a quick little line, So that one would be in like a week. There's another joke that I've been playing with right now about, what's an interesting, here's a good example of like, I've done a joke about how hard it is to wear like a romper for my wife, like, and how hard it is to be a woman, like wearing rompers. And I've been doing that joke like for 2 or 3 years. And I just recently added a new tag to the middle of it. And you're like, I already put that in the special. Dang it. But then I'm like, no, well, I'll just re-record the clip somewhere. Or maybe I'll do it on a late night set or a don't tell set, or I'll get like a newer version of it. So there's no like real, sometimes I feel like a joke is like never done. Like it's almost like a shared, at least for me, it's almost like a shared document, like a living document where you're like, oh, I might retire this for a little while, or maybe I'll bring it back, or I have a different form for it, or I'm doing the type of gig where, like the people who come out to see me, they probably don't know my specials. I'm not like a specials comic. Like I always talk to Taylor and Bergetzi about like that. People are like, dude, I can't wait to see their new hour. Like the people who have seen me in shorter segments because I've never had a Netflix special. Like I've had, my specials have done pretty well. Like they're modest, but like well. And then my Dry Bar did pretty well. But then they've seen me opening for other comics for between 20-minute sets or a viral clip. And that was a minute. And it may not even be doing stand-up. So yeah, there's no like real kind of rhyme or reason to it for me. It's all very like living. But I will say one of the great things that Cat Williams said in that Club Shay Shay interview was, you don't know if a joke is done until you've told it in every part of the country. And I do agree with that, Sully, that you're just like, okay, this needs to work in Lexington and Portland. This needs to work in Orlando and Albany and Austin, and said like it just has to, or it's pandering at that point. Like if it only works for a certain audience, it's just, you're just pandering at that point, and they deserve better as an audience.
That was Dustin Nickerson. He's going to be on tour this year. You should go see him. Check out DustinNickerson.com for more info. All right, stay tuned. Up next, it's our graduation game. You'll see. You're listening to Willow. The song is Run. Hey, if you like this podcast, but you might like it better if there were no ads, you can do that. Head over to relevantmagazine.com and sign up for Relevant Plus. For just a couple bucks a month, you get this podcast ad-free. You get ad-free unlimited reading at relevantmagazine.com, including the full podcast and magazine archives, our beautifully designed digital issue, and a little more. Check out all the info right there on the Relevant Plus tab at relevantmagazine.com. All right. I told you at the beginning of the show, it's graduation season right now. It's May. Seniors are getting out. Colleges are wrapping up. It's graduation season. So we wanted to do a graduation themed trivia game. We're calling it Weird Graduation Traditions. That's what it is. Here's the jingle.
Weird graduation traditions.
All right, what I'm going to do is I'm going to read you these multiple choice, and we'll do a few rounds here and see who knows their graduations the best. Jesse, we'll start with you.
Okay.
At the University of Texas in Austin, the end of the semester is marked by what campus event? A foam sword party. Students bring school-furnished foam swords and have a Braveheart-style battle on campus.
LARPing thing. Okay.
B, chicken fried steak day, or C, the Longhorn Rodeo Extravaganza.
I mean, I feel like rodeo extravaganza is most on brand. I'm going to go with that.
UT Austin, every semester ends it by having a big foam sword Friday LARPing battle.
I got to be honest. If it was an elementary school, I get it. You know, these are college students. We don't need to throw them out with their foam. No one thinks that's cool anymore. Let's do the rodeo. Thinks that's cool. Or I'd take a chicken fried steak over a foam sword fight. But who am I? Who am I to judge?
All right, Marty. Seniors at Wellesley College celebrate Hoop Day by racing a wooden hoop down Tupelo Street. When this tradition started years ago, what was the winning prize? Is it A, $100, B, a piece of land, or C, a husband? The winning prize for the Wellesley College Day Hoop Day.
I'm going to say a piece of land.
A husband. A husband was the first prize.
So only girls could play this thing? Or
not necessarily.
Alive.
Are they just like an open AI school?
I mean, the laws changed in 2012.
Yeah. Who's the poor guy getting husband?
I don't know. You're really hoping for the pretty girl to win.
I really hope it was for land. I don't know.
Yeah, this is
Derek,
rough.
during each year's commencement at Williams College, an item is dropped from the 80-foot spire of the college's Thompson Chapel. And if the item breaks, the graduating class will be blessed with good luck. What is the item they drop? A bowling ball, a watch, or a plate?
I'm going to go with watch.
Yeah, watch. Correct.
Oh, wow.
Got it. We finally got one. Here we go.
Plate was going to break no matter what.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Bowling ball is
I'd like
like,
to see the
yeah,
bowling
that's
ball.
just
That'd be just
scary.
cool. Yeah, that'd be fun.
Could break, I guess. I don't know. Break the floor.
All right, Jesse, graduates of Notre Dame's School of Architecture adorn their mortarboards with architectural structures that meet a specific requirement. Which of the following would not appear on a graduate's mortarboard?
Okay.
A, the Taj Mahal. B, the unmistakable building of an international house of pancakes. Or C, their childhood home, because the structure must be easily identifiable.
I'm going to go IHOP, probably for some corporate advertising restriction.
Nope, their childhood home. You can have an IHOP on your mortarboard if you want to. Childhood home. Yep. All right, Marty, true or false? Graduating seniors at Yale vandalized the statue of Theodore Dwight Wolseley, a graduate from the Yale class of 1820 and a subsequent president of the university, every year.
True.
True or false?
True.
No, it's false.
Why would they even ask that question then? I mean, like AI.
They don't vandalize it. They urinate on its toe. That's the tradition, is the students urinate on the toe.
Wouldn't that be considered vandalism?
Is it? I don't think if you got charged for public urination.
No one.
You're not getting charged for vandalism if you get charged for public urination.
Why is y'all pissing on the founder's toe?
When R. Kelly went to prison, this should have stopped then, but for some reason they kept this tradition going.
All right, Derek, at West Point, who is the class GOAT? That's in quotes. Is it the lowest academic performer among the cadets in your graduating class? Is it the highest academic performer among the cadets? Is it the fastest academic performer among the cadets? Class GOAT.
Going lowest.
Lois, that's correct.
Oh,
Get
man.
publicly ridiculed for not being a good student. Jesse, here we go. Third round. Right now, Derek is up 2, and then Jesse and Marty have nothing. But this round is 3 points each. Here we go,
We'll
Jesse.
win this one.
Jesse, what do senior nursing students at Liberty University do to celebrate graduation? Is it burn their nursing scrubs in flames? Burn their nursing scrubs in flames. Nursing school dean for a bonfire. I don't know what that. I think there's some words missing in that.
Of nursing school.
Jump into the campus fountain, or break into the nursing school building at night. What is the tradition?
I'm assuming it's not the break-in. At Liberty doesn't seem like the kind of place where that'd be kosher. I'm going to go with the fountain swim.
No, it is their burn their nursing scrubs in flames. Nursing school dean for a bonfire. I don't.
Wow.
Anyway, it's that one. There's fire.
It's
involved.
in front. Burn the nursing things in front.
In front of the dean. Got it. Okay.
Wow.
Oh yeah, they put all their scrubs in a bonfire. Burn it in front of the nursing school dean. I get it. Marty, true or false? After a person's final exams, Oxford graduates are showered with champagne, whipped cream, confetti sprinkles, glitter, and more disgusting substances such as milk. Oxford.
True. I think that's a true.
That is true. You got 3 points on it. Derek, here you go. What gift do doctoral graduates from the University of Lund in Finland receive upon graduation? Doctoral graduates, University of London, Finland. A watch, a flask, or a sword?
Going flask.
A sword. They get a sword.
I was thinking sword.
That was my second. That was my second answer. Sword. Nice.
Or a cup of coffee.
For
Cup
coffee,
of coffee.
yeah. Finland. AI generated coffee.
All right, last round, 3 points each. Jesse, you have no chance. At the 2014 Kanazawa College of Art in Japan, students dressed up in crazy costumes for graduation. Which of the following costumes made an appearance? Snoopy, Batman, or a giant clarinet?
Say those one more time.
Snoopy, Batman, a giant clarinet.
I'm going to go Snoopy here.
Snoopy, that's correct. You're on the board.
Everybody loves him. Never seen one person that had anything bad to say about my man Snoopy.
All right, Marty. Instead of traditional graduation hats, what do graduates of the University of Sweden wear during their graduation ceremony? Sailor hats, bucket hats, or wigs?
I'm going to say, because they're just a really white country, they're going to wear wigs, like powdered wigs. I think that makes sense to me.
Sailor hats.
Sailor hats. Okay. It just is white, you know? They have someone in the family they call captain. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's like a thing.
Derek, wrapping it up. Here we go. What do graduates wear at CSU Bakersfield, so California State University at Bakersfield ceremonies? Graduates wear at their graduation ceremonies all black attire, a lei, colorful lei, or tacky shirts.
What's a lei?
Like the Hawaiian flower necklace.
Flower necklace.
Oh, yeah.
Like, you
that
got
sounds.
laid,
That
that's
sounds
like a joke,
fine.
you get a
Go ahead. Yeah, let's do that.
That's it. That's correct. That's what they do.
Yeah.
I don't know
Sounds
why
great.
Bakersfield is all into leis, but
Right.
everybody gets
It's
to
a big Hawaiian community, big Hawaiian community over there, Bakersfield, right?
I have no idea.
Yeah, huge.
All right. Well, Derek, you won. You crushed it. Derek
Dang,
had
that's 6.
8-3-3.
Big day.
Yeah. Big day. Well, before we wrap things up, I want to thank Dustin Nickerson for joining us. Make sure to check out his comedy special. You can stream it on Amazon Prime. And if you can catch him live this year, you definitely should. You can find all the dates by following him on Instagram or checking out DustinNickerson.com. All right. On that note, we'll wrap things up. I'm Cameron Strang.
I'm Jesse Carey.
I'm Derek Miner.
I'm Marty.
We'll see you on Friday. Have a great week, everyone.
Thanks for listening to the Relevant Podcast. Check out our features, interviews, and news updates every day at relevantmagazine.com. And make sure to follow Relevant on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram for the latest. For more great podcasts, browse the shows on the Relevant Podcast Network, which you can find at our site. And while you're there, don't miss the all-new era of Relevant Magazine. A new issue releases every other month at relevantmagazine.com.
I don't believe it for a second, and I don't care.
Relevant Podcast Network.